What's up YouTube? I'm Brad Browning and this is another breakup advice video. And as the title suggests, in the next few minutes I'll share 5 signs that indicate that your ex is gone for good. As in, they've moved on and won't ever take you back. Now obviously, if you're hoping for a second chance with your ex, the less of these signs that you've seen from your ex, the better your odds. But of course, you can also go to breakupbrad.com/quiz after the video's over and take my free 5-minute quiz to find out your odds of ever winning back your ex. I do recommend taking the quiz no matter how many of these 5 signs your ex has already shown. Like I said, it only takes a few minutes and it's completely free, so after the video, visit breakupbrad.com/quiz and try it out for yourself. Now, before we jump into sign number 1, let me quickly say that no 2 breakups, and no 2 people for that matter, are the same. So it's possible that for a small percentage of you watching this video right now, your ex may have shown none of these 5 signs, but still be gone for good. Or just as likely, your ex might have shown many of these signs, but not yet truly be over you or unwilling to give you a second chance. You really can never be certain what's going on inside somebody else's brain, so never say never. But that being said, based on my 13+ years as a breakup coach, working with tens of thousands of clients, these 5 signs are strong indicators, especially when your ex is showing several of them, that it is time to give up on your ex and move on because they're probably never coming back. Sign number 1, your ex blocked you and you haven't been able to reach them for months. Now, before you say, no shit, Brad, obviously if my ex blocked me, they're over me. Well, you might be surprised to learn that in the first few weeks, and even sometimes for the first month or two, your ex blocking your number or blocking you on social media isn't actually that big of a deal. Granted, it's obviously not a good thing for your chances, but it also definitely isn't a game over scenario. I often see people block their exes for a few weeks or even a month after the breakup, only to later break down, unblock their ex, and beg for another chance. Sometimes that time apart, much like a period of no contact would do, makes your ex miss you so badly that they finally cave into their heartache and ask to take you back. But when your ex has blocked you for several months and you've got no way to contact them and there's no indication that they're going to unblock you anytime soon, well, that is obviously a bad sign. At that point, when at least a couple of months have passed and you still have no way to reach out to your ex and no glimmers of hope that they're changing their mind, then things are obviously not looking good. Sign number 2 is when your ex is in a new, committed, long-term relationship. Now, after a breakup, it's very common for people to jump into rebound relationships, as I'm sure you're already aware. Now, if your ex is in an actual rebound relationship, then you don't need to worry too much. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have no chance of getting them back. To understand what qualifies as a rebound, you can check out the previous video that I made by clicking the pop-up or the link in the description below. But in this case, I'm talking about a serious relationship with somebody new. So if your ex is only sleeping with somebody else 2 weeks after your breakup, well, obviously it sucks and I'm sorry you had to find out, but it's probably not a serious relationship. A real committed relationship lasts for a few months or more, and it's obvious that they're a couple. They might even move in together, go on trips, and make future plans. Basically, it's a proper relationship, not just a quick fling to help them forget the pain of the breakup. Now, if your ex is actually in a serious relationship with somebody new, and it's become clear over time that it's not a rebound, then it's usually a very bad sign. It might mean that getting back together will be extremely challenging or maybe even impossible. And the more serious and long-lasting your ex's new relationship is, the more it suggests that your ex has moved on for good. Now, there is one exception to this. Sometimes exes reconnect after years, even after being in other relationships with different people during that time apart. You know, it's like those romantic Hollywood movies where soulmates find each other again after a long separation, like in The Notebook. Obviously, it's very rare, but I do have clients who get back together with an ex they broke up with years earlier. Now, if that's going to happen in your case, and I wouldn't hold your breath, but it is possible, then you do need to move on for now and hope that things might work out in the future. In summary though, the more real and committed your ex's new romance is, the longer they've been together, then the less optimistic you should be about getting them back. And on to sign number 3, which is that your ex doesn't get jealous, angry, or emotional. So any kind of emotion that your ex shows towards you after a breakup is actually a good thing for your odds of getting another chance with them. And yes, that even applies to anger. If your ex is angry at you, holds on to past grudges, or seems unwilling to forgive you for something, it can often actually be a strong indication that they're not over you and that you're still at the top of their mind. Now, as I've often said in my past videos, you need to be more concerned about an indifferent, apathetic ex than an ex who's angry or tries to lash out and get revenge. In that kind of situation, it's possible that things won't work out, but it's also just as likely that your ex will, if you play your cards right and follow the advice in my X Factor program and in my videos here on YouTube, eventually forgive you and let go of that anger. Then at that point, you can rebuild their attraction for you and quite possibly get a second chance in a new relationship. But as I said, a total lack of emotion from your ex. If they're apathetic, disinterested, cold, and unaffected by your attempts to carefully and subtly incite jealousy, then that is a bad sign. The less they seem to care about you and what you're up to, the less they bring up old arguments or seem to hold on to memories and emotions, the more concerned you should be about your odds of getting them back. Now, gauging whether your ex's apathy and coldness is actually a sign that they've moved on or just an act to disguise their real underlying emotion can be really tricky, so don't jump to any conclusions. As I said, take a couple of minutes to try my free quiz at breakupbrad.com/quiz to get more insight as to where you stand with your ex and whether you're going to have any shot at getting them back. Sign number 4, your ex has always been fully committed to a permanent breakup from day one, and they don't show any signs of changing their tune even after several months. So simply put, if your ex has always been adamant about the breakup, expressing clearly that it's over and maintaining this stance for at least a couple of months, well, that's definitely not a positive sign for your chances of getting them back. Quite frankly, some people are just more determined than others, and some individuals carefully contemplate breaking up. Your ex might have made up their mind months ago, believing there was no alternative and really fully committing to a permanent breakup right from the start. Now, this level of detachment and calculation isn't something that most people can actually achieve, but there are those who can be cold and calculated enough to firmly commit to a breakup no matter what. However, if your ex has expressed missing you, inquired about your dating life, or made any comments that suggest that they might still see you in their future, well, that suggests that they still have feelings or regrets about ending their relationship. And that is a completely different type of situation. But when an ex remains resolute and consistent for months after the breakup, repeatedly asserting that it's over without offering any kind of hope, then that message eventually becomes too powerful to ignore. It usually means that they've already moved on. Now, on its own, this sign isn't significant enough that you should definitely give up all hope, but it's definitely not a good thing. And the longer your ex holds this line and stays committed to the breakup, the lower your chances. And on to sign number 5, which is that you took my free quiz at breakupbrad.com/quiz and scored 60 or below. So if you go take the quiz and you end up with a score of 60-ish or below, then that itself is a very bad sign. A good score on the quiz is anything above 80 or so. Between 60 or 80, you've probably still got a chance, but it's not guaranteed, especially if you make any mistakes or fail to apply the strategies that I advocate in my X Factor program or here in my YouTube videos. Now, below a score of 60, there may still be a glimmer of hope, but it's not looking good. And obviously, if you score even lower than that, 50 or below, for example, it's probably time to face the reality that you're going to have to move on, and any chance you have of getting your ex back is going to be up to them because your situation is so dire that it's over. Now, before we end this video, there's a couple of other very, very obvious signs that I didn't mention, but that we should quickly go over. Number 1 is when your ex has remarried. Number 2 is when your ex has taken out a restraining order or got the police involved in any way. And number 3, your ex has passed away. Now, if any of those things apply to your situation, well, I can say for certain that it is over and you need to move on. Please don't be that person who chases after their ex for years, even after they're married to somebody new or after they've gotten law enforcement involved to try and stop you from contacting them. I think that this should be obvious, but you'd be surprised at some of the situations my clients are in when they reach out to me for help. Anyway, now is a good time to take my free quiz at breakupbrad.com/quiz if you haven't already. And of course, it's also a good time to click like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.